Hi, I'm Caroline Ward, Head of Communication and Insight for RDA UK. For our Road to Restart Participant Week, I interviewed rider rep for Grampian and Highland, Reid, about her experiences of returning to Moray RDA last year, how the group prepared riders and their families for the new normal, and the importance of being able to return to riding. I'm delighted to share some extracts of that interview with you now. In this film, I've also included the video that Moray put together to show riders what to expect when they return to the group. I hope you enjoy the interview and find Jean's insight and experience useful for your own restart plans.
Physically, loss of condition, and a reversal of my problems with my back and, loss of core strength, that kind of stuff. That came a little bit later because I managed to initially keep doing a little bit walking and moving about my garden because I'm lucky because I can go outside. So I can go out into the garden. Some people can't do that, and I understand they're stuck in the house. So I've worked hard at that, but it still doesn't exercise all the bits that the horse exercises because I'm told that sitting on a large moving animal, each one footstep that the horse takes moves hundreds of muscles in the person's body, just for the person sitting alone. And some people think it's 1,000 muscles that move for every one footstep. So it's a remarkable workout, but it's a subtle workout. And that's the kind of treatment I need. Like I need a sports masseur to do the work on my body because I seize up, my spine seizes up, my muscles, everything seizes up. So the seizing up, losing this condition. But initially, I haven't discussed this with anyone else, so this will be quite a revelation, I'm afraid. Initially, when I thought that Moray RDA might not reopen, and we reopened last October, and I was one of the fortunate riders, and we rode for 2 weeks and then another 5 weeks. We'll tell you about that later. When I thought throughout the summer, last summer we weren't going to reopen, and all was lost, and everybody was saying the RDA will never be the same again, and everybody was just, my mental health took a dive. I started to feel really hopeless and depressed in the thought of there not being RDA branches reopening. Not just my own local one for me to go to, what the impact that would be. And when Denise from that branch and all the rest of the team watched this, you didn't tell us this. I didn't sit down and explain it to them. I really took quite a mental dip. But I pulled myself out of it again because I'm lucky I have the skills and the training to do that, to live with long-term health conditions, physical, mental, emotional. But it had a profound impact, and it gave me the sense of loss and that people might give up. They might just give up because the RDA is too difficult to try and do. There's too many restrictions, too many changes. What if you don't own your own stables and all this kind of stuff? And it's so hard. And what if they just give up? And the thought of that was devastating. And the invite came to the AGM for the Moray branch, and they were going to have it socially distanced in the riding school, which was brilliant. So I said, come along, I'd love to come. And that was my first trying and going out again and going back to the stables as a tester before, because I think go to the stables for a tester, go in the car and do your route, because you'd be nervous about getting in the car and going out again. And so I would recommend that people maybe want to just go to the stables and try the driving route and get there and just see what it's like different. That was good because we then had a walk around the yard, and I slowly followed them around, but and we were shown where the new posters are, where the sanitising stations are for your hands, where you would park now because that had changed, where you would stand and wait to be somebody, the COVID officer would meet and greet you. You had to explain through now that there was a one-way system for the toilets, and all this was shown to everybody. So to all the trustees and volunteers who were at the AGM and anyone else who attended a rider. And so that was really helpful because then you knew, okay, so I know how that's going to be, that's fine. The next thing was they wanted to train up family members or your carer to do helping for, because that was your bubble. So we needed somebody in your bubble to help you with your mounting and dismounting. And so my PA, Moira, she did the training for the first time. And she hadn't done that at the RDA before. And so she went along to the training, and it was at the same at Cranlough Riding School, which Denise's sister owns. We're very lucky, it's a family thing, Moray RDA. And they did the training. Now I stayed in the car, but I was there while she was in doing the training, and the COVID training for the helpers, family, friends and carers. And that was very reassuring to know that was happening, to actually go along, and they're all doing it around saying, hello, how you doing? And do you know what I mean? But I stayed in the car because there were too many people. So getting to understand only so many people can be in that place at one time, only so many people in this place at one time. So, and that helped just being in the yard. And again, we tested the route, driving the car, and there's no major roadworks or anything like that. So nothing to worry about there. So first week of riding, all about communication. We'd had it all explained to us in emails ahead, and when we were there, we'd ask questions. And on the first day, we were nervous. Everybody was nervous. The COVID officer was nervous. Sarella was quite strict. And yes, and they're all standing there like school children on day one on the line. You know, your first day at new school, when you all stand in line. It was still like that. You know, first day at primary school going, oh man, where do I go? What do I do? Do you know, it's like, so it was a bit like that. But, you know, we settled into it, and it was better because, you know what? There's less people there, and it was quieter. Moray RDA is extremely busy, really busy. Bus loads of school kids and people everywhere, and the turnover is enormous. And normally I ride at the end of the day when it's quieter, just as it's quietening down. But so it's quieter, so there are benefits to just a few riders returning initially and just a few volunteers. Take it step by step, take it slowly, don't rush in, and just do a little bit. So that was the getting there and the just being in the yard. But I know you were interested in what our thoughts were about our fitness, our condition, our riding and all the rest of it, what our worries would be about that. And I was worried about my stamina. Would I be exhausted? Would I get all breathless and red in the face? You know, like this and I forgot to breathe. And yeah, just would it wipe me out? Because I have a fatigue condition as well. So would this return wipe me out for so many days or whatever? It didn't. But I was tired. So we had these worries and concerns, and will I remember? But we were reassured all along, and in a good way, that we would go back. We wouldn't start where we left off. Trot. You know, we would go back and we would just do, you know, like the beginning of every term, you just refresh again and see where everybody's at. So we just take it slowly and just do walking and all the rest of it, and, you know, do your maneuvers. And so we did that, and it was better. So a lot of change, all to deal with at one time, and expectations. Most people on the autistic spectrum, that's too much change for them. I am not the typical example of somebody on the spectrum. I am so accustomed to riding, you can put me on any horse that can take my weight and off I go. Yeah, I've not got my strength anymore, and I've lost a lot of my skills and all the rest of it, but I still think I can ride anything. And so we have to go slower with other people, because these changes, some of the children will find it, and riders, very difficult not to have the same pony. Long conversations to be had, introductions to new ponies, meet, you know, quiet corners, grooming with the new pony first, go for a little walk with the new pony, get to know it, that kind of thing. There's a lot of these things need to be done. It's all very well for me, oh yeah, I just turned up and I got on and I was fine, and it's not that easy for other people. The rest of my class have kept themselves reasonably well in condition as well, which we were all surprised. We as riders and the coaches. Pleasant surprise. But we know that other people won't be so fortunate, and their condition will be right back to beginning. And that'd be hard because we can't have sidewalkers just now. So it's all about taking it slow, communication, and just thinking about what people have been through and how to support them. And I guess we ask questions. How do people feel? What are their worries? What are their concerns? Is there anything we can reassure you about ahead of time? Anything you would like to ask? Never think about it. Yeah. But it was well covered. You know, Moray are pretty organised. They're school teachers, you see, Denise and Heather, and that really helps. They're organised in that sense. So, but it was amazing to be riding again. Oh my, I'm the one in the class who's like, that's on the horse. Right through the whole lesson. That's all I do, right? So I'm the one with the big beaming face all the time. Even if I've had to do a dressage test and I come out and I'm like, la, 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 and they're like, you're not even nervous. I'm just too happy to be on the horse. So yeah, what it's done for me to be back and just to help them to be open, and by week 2 we were comfortable again with the new way the RDA is. And different volunteers were rotating to give them a practice at working in the COVID environment. And it was nice to see them because each week you would see one volunteer you hadn't seen for a while. And it was just so nice to see everybody talking to each other, to see the ponies, to get the ponies back into work. And the ponies were happy to be doing their games and just being, you know, they were happy to be working. It felt like being alive again. You know, it just was so good, absolutely. And I want everybody to feel that, absolutely everybody. And that's why we would want, you know, as many branches to open as possible, and try not to be scared, and it's not too much work. Everything's done, the paperwork's there from head office. You know, other branches have opened, they'll help people. The participants, how do we encourage them back? Those that might think they might not want to come. They might have changed their mind or lost interest or, you know, feel put off. How do we reach them and encourage them back, and, you know, tell them it'll be just as good, if not better, than it was before? It's just the same but different. Do you know what I mean? But we love it. And I love seeing the kids doing their classes and smiling. I can't wait till the kids come back and they're sitting on their ponies and they're smiling and they're happy as well. Fabulous. But the re-enabling, I found it, I heard it in one of the RDA videos, is that they're allowing participants to do a bit more, like they're on stirrups and girths and things. So they're enabling people. And that sense of doing more for yourself is yes, because I can do a little bit of that. And I don't have the same strength as I used to have, but I can do a little bit. And yeah, so I think that will help the RDA move forward. Instead of doing everything for people, we'll re-enable people to do more for themselves as they come back. And it'll be a different type of involvement. And then that will help us with a connection with participants and families, carers, but also participant reps. All this kind of stuff is, you know, we do something in a new kind of re-enabling way. I think we just, you know, sell it as the adventure it is. This is an opportunity for us all to rewrite and remake our lives. You get this opportunity once in a lifetime if you're lucky. People are scared of change. They think it's terrible. No, this is just like, we can do it all new and better and different. You know what I mean? It's a mindset, and how we can help each other embrace this different kind of mindset that's going on. Like, journey together, let's do something different. That's what we really need to do, isn't it? So a lot of things to consider. But Moray did a brilliant job. Posters everywhere, hand sanitizer everywhere. Any question you want to ask. It's just so. And the week I felt safe. I felt confident. I felt reassured. I knew I was in capable hands. And the fact that head office, RDA National, is now has always been there, but are now rolling out this Road to Restart programme to help people back. It's an A to Z for everybody, how to get back to riding, or just being open and doing quiet corners, or tea with a pony, or, you know, grooming a pony, or anything like that. just to be there in the school and smell the smells and see the ponies, amazing for people. And it's a good way to maybe go back slowly, is just to do that. First, you don't have to have people back right initially, but just have people coming. But it's good. And so head office is there, the resources are there, the communication's there, the people are there for, you know, the branches to contact, to get information. I've worked for other charities as a volunteer in various roles and on boards and things, sat on boards. I haven't worked for a charity that has this type of support from head office, a national charity that supplies so much in the way of information, resources, downloads, paperwork, training, all this kind of stuff. And they're now building a big connection where they're saying each branch can talk to each other and speak to them. They'll speak to you because they've opened already and they'll answer your questions. The network that's being built, it's a wonderful thing. And I think it's a good thing for the branches. And now we need to look at how do we get the participants more involved, because our reach to the participants is something we have to work on, isn't it? I would say absolutely do, absolutely. Everything is there. The benefits of reopening, I think I wrote it in an email to you, someone, the benefits of reopening to the participants, their families, the carers, the volunteers, the ponies, to everybody is amazing. And we had just the best time when we were back last autumn, you know, doing the 7 weeks of being open after COVID. And just the benefit to everybody. I think if they don't, the branches don't try to open in even a small, tiny way with just one rider or even just quiet corners, I think they might regret it. I think. And we need to just be brave and bite the bullet and lead by example. And, you know, it's easy for me to say yes, but I'm gung ho. But I think we have all the support and resources behind them. And Angus have just been signed off, another branch for Grampian Highlands. Just got the email about that. That's superb. So it's 3 up here now. So I think it's a lot of work, but it's worth it. And the volunteers are all there willing, you know, to help and to be involved. I think the parents, the guardians, carers and participants would be absolutely heartbroken if some branches didn't. I don't want to overstate this. Everything comes back to what the RDA says. It's about what you can do, no matter how little. And I think that's the key for us all. No, if you're scared to come back, don't be scared. All the hygiene's there, all the safety's there, you're in good hands. You know, everything's there. And if you're scared to get back on a pony, it's okay, you don't have to get back on yet. You know, let's just go for a wee walk. And do grooming and feeding, and just be there and make friends with a new pony. And just, yeah, so there's so many things we can do in this new world of the RDA. I think it's great because we were all in routines, weren't we? And the ponies were like, so boring. So now we can just like, okay, let's do something different. I think it will be really good for all of us, actually. Because we think outside the box now.